Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. If it's your first time here, hi, I'm Ashley and I hope you're having a productive day. So today it's time for another episode of Cook With Me, and I'm going to be making oven-baked chicken quesadillas. So this is something we used to make a long time ago. Haven't made it in a while, but felt inspired to have it. So I have out stuff I need. I'm going to get the oven preheated. Probably to around 400. Not around, 400. Because really what I'm doing here for the oven is just to bring it all together and kind of make it crispy instead of frying up the quesadillas. So the first thing I need to do right now is I need to get the onions chopped up. For the onions, I like to have a decent sized slices, pieces, whatever, because you don't want them too small because you don't want them to fall out of the quesadillas, but you don't want it too big either. So typically what I do is I am going to get the onion paper off, cut it down the middle like that, and then I'm just going to cut them into probably about this thick slices. I need to get the pan preheating. Now, traditional fajita insides have peppers in it, but not the biggest fan of cooked peppers. I mean, they're okay, but instead of peppers, we like to do onions and mushrooms. So that's what I'm going to do, is cut up the onions. And I have actually already sliced mushrooms. Some things, why not take the help from the store? Makes it so much easier if you can have it already cut up. There's some kind of green pieces I got rid of. Personal preference on how you want the, what pieces you like and dislike for your onions. Okay, now that I've got the onions all cut up, put that over there because they don't need anything else. Okay, so I've got my pan over here getting warm on the stove. I just have it on kind of medium heat to bring it up to the temperature I want it to be. One tip I want to give that I did for this meal is something that's going to make it really easy is to use pre-cooked chicken. And you can buy a rotisserie chicken and shred it, or you can buy frozen cooked chicken. What I did is I took a package of chicken breast and I cut them up, just roughly cut it up, and then I cooked it in my crock pot at lunchtime. And then I'm going to shred this up to use in my fajitas, or fajita quesadillas. So that way it's just a lot easier to have that already cooked, and then you can shred it, and then you can heat it all together in your pan before you make the quesadillas. So, because that's kind of loud how I do it, another tip I will share is I like to put it into a bowl and use my hand mixer to shred the chicken. That's a little loud, so I'm going to do that off camera, and I'll come back and show you what the chicken looks like once it's shredded. Alright guys, here's what the chicken looks like after I've shredded it with my hand mixer. Such a good tip. It goes really fast and makes that happen really quickly. So now let me adjust ya. I'm going to add in the onions to the pan. And then I'm just going to let these cook for a little while. Really want those to cook down. Oh, there's a little bit of extra virgin olive oil in the pan. Need something to help it saute. So I'm going to let that go for a while, and We'll be back when I add the mushrooms. So the mushrooms aren't quite, or sorry, the onions aren't quite done yet. Let me turn it off so you can kind of see the color. But I do want to go ahead and add the mushrooms because this will continue to cook some while the mushrooms are in it. So I don't want them to get too mushy. We like our onions to have a little bit of bite, a little bit of texture still to them. So I am going to go ahead and add the mushrooms at this point and cook those in here for a while. And then I'll be adding in the chicken. I did also open up, and I'm going to add a can of diced tomatoes with chilies into this as well. So I will see you guys again once I'm ready to add the next ingredients. All right, I told you we'd be back when it's time for the next step, and here we are. I'm going to add tomatoes and chicken right into that pan. Since the chicken's already cooked, I'm really just warming this stuff up. I want to season it up with some salt. I like garlic powder, some pepper, and I'm going to add some cumin. And then I'm going to stir all this around, get everything distributed. Mixed up. It smells really nice. So I'm going to let that come together. And then the next step is going to be building the quesadillas. All right, guys. So I had to get a little creative on how I made this fit. So we got a lot of chicken here. This is for dinner tonight and for leftovers for lunch tomorrow. So I'm going to show you what the next step is. I have another pan with the stuff, the overflow stuff. But I'm literally just taking little mounds, piling it on here, arranging it around as best I can. The key thing I try to do is make it even layer-wise so that there's not like a bulging spot and a spot without food. I try to make sure that it's just even. Like, I don't just pile it like that like you would a burrito. I move it around to where it's fairly even across the tortilla. Like that. So I'm going to keep loading these up, and I'll see you guys back for the next step. All right, now comes the gooey cheese part. So I'm going to sprinkle the cheese across these three. My sous chefs down here, aka my beagles, are really hoping I drop something. All three of them are here. Just waiting to see if I'm going to drop anything. I'm probably not going to drop anything. Okay, now it's time for the last step before it goes in the oven with a little bit of a hack that I use to keep it, to try and get the tops crispy. So I'm going to put the tops on. Just kind of lay them down and press them a little bit. And then I use buttered flavored cooking spray. And I just lightly spray the top. There's some over here, so I got to get those. And that's it. So that way, it gives it a little bit of fat to crisp up on the top. So now they're going to go in the oven, 400 degrees. I'm going to leave them, put them on one on top rack, one on the bottom rack, and then come back in about 7 minutes and switch them so that they have ample time to get crispy everywhere. All right, folks, here is the finished product. Look at the crispy cheese. This is actually a little bit crispy. So excited. Let's take a little taste. I don't know if you guys can hear that crispiness, but it's definitely crispy.
Oh.
Bailey, you want some? It's really tasty. So, I highly recommend try your version of this. And I hope you guys liked this video. If you did, please like my channel. Subscribe to my, sorry. I just forgot what I was doing. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And I hope you guys have a great day, and I'll see you next time.